Good morning, everyone. Well, today's the day. I heckled the men last week. Now we'll heckle you women this week. It's life. It's how it goes. This week we're going to do a service on wives. How a wife should be. And before you all get mad at me, okay, I did a lot of searching. And there's not a whole lot in here in the Bible about wives.
Proverbs 23.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot. And what there is in here on wives, most women ain't gonna like what they're hearing. Okay, so I do got a few verses that I am going to read. Okay. Yeah, I'll just explain as I go. Okay, so the first place we're going to take is Ephesians 5:22. Ephesians 5:22. And this is the part that women are going to hate the most.
Ephesians. Where's Ephesians?
Yeah, Ephesians is towards the back of the Bible, right before Philippians or Philippians.
What was it?
5:22. And in Ephesians 5:22 it says this. Now remember, this is God speaking, not Dwayne. So no throwing rocks or beating on me later. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Now immediately when women hear submit, they think something totally different. What God is saying here is when he's saying submit yourself to your husband is be unto your husband as you are unto God. Don't look at your husband as a God. Okay? What he means by submitting is if your husband, and I'm going to make this clear because I don't want anybody just watching this thinking something different. If your husband's a godly man, your husband believes in God, your husband talks to God, he has a relationship with God and all, that's how he should be running his house. Okay? You got to, let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to put this so I don't confuse people. If your man is godly, okay, that's how he should be running his house. So when you submit to him, in other words, submitting means do what he says. Okay. Now I'm not saying if he tells you to go outside and do 3 backflips to do that. No. Submitting is basically saying honor him by working with him. Do what he asks you to do, not tells you, because if a man loves you, he's not going to tell you what to do. Okay, he's going to ask you. If he's doing something and he needs help, whether it be a ministry or whatever, you should be there to do that. If he needs a hug, you should be there to do that. Okay? If he says no on something, you should take that as a no. All right? So, us men, we submit to God. So, what God says, we do. And if you're not doing that, you better get into action and get it done. We do what God says. And that's what he's saying here. Submit yourself unto the man as the man would submit himself under God. So if a man is doing you that, is trying to get you to do stuff that's not honorable, that's not moral, don't submit yourself to that. Okay? Don't be submissive on bad stuff. But submit yourself to your husband. What he's doing, you should be doing too. Okay? What decisions he's making, you should be understandable with that and go with it, even though if you don't like it. Because let's understand something. Not everybody has to be right all the time. Okay? So we got to submit. But submit to a man the way the man submits to God only. If it's unmoral, don't do it. If the man just wants to beat you and talk you down and stuff like that, don't submit to that. Okay? Only submit to godly stuff. Okay? But we got to remember, and I said this back into the marriage part that I did to this, women are helpmates. All right? Now, I know you're not going to like to hear this, but I got to say it anyway. Women are not the boss. Okay? Women are not the boss. The Bible tells you that. You've got to, you're a helpmate to your husband. In other words, God made you to back this guy up. God made you to take care of this man. Because let's be honest, everybody in here agree with me. When it comes to taking care of ourselves, us men ain't worth a nickel. We're bad at it. We eat junk food. We eat canned food. We make bad decisions. Okay? We're not good. That's why God gave us women. To help us be good. Okay?
There's a lot of women out there just as bad.
Well, nowadays there is a lot of women out there that's just as bad. But submitting is not being, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word, but I can't think of it right now. But submitting to your husband, it's only in a godly way. It's not if he's asking you to do stuff that's unmoral. No, don't submit to that. Don't submit to a guy that'll beat you, that'll down talk you all the time. Okay, God don't want that for anybody. All right, but you got to be submissive. You got to learn to say yes when you want to say no. You got to learn to say okay when you don't want to say okay. Sometimes men and women both, sometimes we just got to get over ourselves and do what we're asked. Okay? So the next place I want to take you is Proverbs. We're going to go to Proverbs 31:10. Proverbs 31:10. Now, I like this one. And women, this is the way you should be. Remember last week I was giving advice to what men should be looking for. So this is a good one. A man who finds a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies. What does venturous mean? Highly moral. A good person. A person that will go above and beyond for whatever reason. That's how women are supposed to be with their husbands. Now, I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of rocks stirred to me on this one, but that's life. If you're putting your kids before your husband, you're wrong. Okay? Remember, when you and your husband got married, you became one. Even though you had the kids, even though they came out of your body, if you're putting them before your husband, you're wrong. Because your kids are going to grow up and leave you. They're going to grow up and go. Your husband don't. He stays there forever. Okay? Supposedly. He should stay there forever. Nowadays, they don't. Okay? But virtuous woman, highly honorable, highly moral. Okay? That's how women should be. They should be highly moral. In other words, they've got a standard. And this standard was set by God since the time they was born. They have this place where they know is not right. And they don't go beyond that. Okay? They don't go beyond it. They have a place to where they know where they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to do it. And they don't break that. They stay with it all the time. Okay? Women, you are house makers. You guys is what turns a house into a home. All right? You can go live anywhere. You can go live anywhere, and a woman can make that house into a home. And that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take that place where you both dwell, because, hey, ladies, if it's us men, it won't have curtains. It won't have decorations. It won't have plants. It won't have anything. It'll just be a bachelor pad. All right? We can't turn a house into a home. To us, it's just someplace we lay down. But you women make it a home. Or you're supposed to be. You make it a home. You make that place where there's love. You make that place where there's peace. You make that place to where a man actually wants to go to. Okay? That's what you should be doing. A man should not have to go to work or go do whatever it is he does and come home and not be able to take off his armor. When a man gets home, and if your women are doing what you're supposed to, when a man gets home, he can take off that armor. He can relax. He don't have to worry about fighting or defending himself. He don't have to worry about, oh boy, what did I do wrong today? He should be able to come home to peace. Don't get me wrong. I know there's certain times of the month where you women are just cranky. Okay? We get that. We know there's not going to be peace 100% of the time. But we still want to come home to a place where we don't have to fight and argue. Where we don't have to defend ourselves over something you guys may have dreamed of. Okay? And that's another point, ladies. If you had a dream about something, about your boyfriend cheating on you, whatever, it's just a dream. Don't blame him. He didn't do it. But there's women out there now that will. They'll start a whole argument over a dream. Stop that. You dreamed it. He didn't. Don't do that. Make it a place where he can come home, that he wants to come home, that when he comes home, he feels love, he feels peace, he feels relaxed. That's your job. You're to make a house a home. Okay? I know a lot of times when you got kids, that's hard to do. Okay? I get that because kids can keep you busy. But you still got to try to find a way. Okay? So, be that woman that a guy can't wait to get home to. Where he's working all day or doing whatever, but he can't wait to get home to see you. He can't wait to get home to give you a hug. He can't wait to get home to give you a kiss. Okay? That's what we're looking for. That's what God says you should be. We don't want to come home to where we got to fight and argue or worry about this or worry about that.
Wayne, I had a night I went to bed, and Jack says, Jan, I'm sorry. He talked to me.
Yeah, after he passed, yeah. Yep, he was telling us
I
that.
said, I'm sorry.
Hey, guys ain't perfect. We're not perfect. We're far from it. Men are simple. Men just want their favorite drinks. Okay? Be tea or whatever the case may be. We're simple. We just want our favorite drinks. We want to feel love. Okay? And we want to feel appreciated. You do that 3 things for a man, they'll stay with you forever. We're not highly complicated. We don't have feelings. We don't do a lot of thinking. And unfortunately, some of the stuff we think about, we should not be thinking about. But we're easy. We're simple. So, you've got a line of what you know not to pass. You've got a line where you know you should not be. Make that house a home. Let that man feel love. Let that man feel appreciated. Okay? Ladies, you want to drop a man in a heartbeat? You want to drop him in a heartbeat? Cheat on him. And as soon as you cheat on him, he will never ever trust you again. He may stay with you. Okay? He may stay with you, but he's never going to trust you again. Just let me say something. This is for men and women. But let me say something. There's no accidentally cheating on someone. I got drunk. I cheated because I got drunk. Fool. You went to that place planning on cheating to begin with, or you wouldn't have went there. Okay? Matter simple. If a man, and you don't see this very often because it don't happen. But ladies, if a man is willing to act like a boy in front of you, in other words, do childish things, that man trusts you so much that he believes he can do that he can have fun with you. But as soon as you tell him to stop acting like a kid, that's done. You broke him. He will never, ever act like that in front of you again. Okay? Although we're simple creatures, men, believe it or not, we do have feelings. And believe it or not, you ladies can crush that in a heartbeat. Just by words. You can crush that in a heartbeat. Okay? So you got to be careful. Men are not your personal wallets. Now, I'm sure nobody in here is like this, but you see it out all the time. If a woman wants a man that can buy her everything, if she wants it, she gets it. That's not love. That marriage is not going to work. That relationship is not going to work. Because you're basing that on what he can do for you. Okay? Should men buy their wives presents? Of course. Obviously. Holidays and stuff like that, or just bring him flowers because he appreciates you that much. Yes. But he's not your bank. He's not your personal wallet. And if that's what you're basing your relationship on, it ain't going to last. Because eventually the man ain't going to have no money. And then you're going to leave him. Okay? Ladies, you do not always want tall, dark, and handsome. All right? There's a lot of good guys out there. A lot of good guys out there that are not tall, dark, and handsome, and women don't want nothing to do with them. Understand something. If you're just looking for tall, dark, and handsome, that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get love. You're not going to get caring. You're not going to get any of that. And remember, tall, dark, and handsome will eventually find someone else because everybody wants them. Okay? So you're going to lose them. When you base your relationship with somebody, with a man, it's not what he's got, how much of it he's got, or what he looks like. It shouldn't be that way. Same thing with men. All right? Same thing with men. But this is wife's time. Base that relationship on how that guy treats you. Base that relationship on what that man should do. The man should protect and provide. The Bible tells you that. Okay? That's his two jobs. All right? Anything past that is just wants. Okay? So tall, dark, and handsome ain't always going to give you what you want. And when tall, dark, and handsome gets done with you, he's going to go find someone else. Okay? So your husband should be the one that meets your needs, all of your needs. Not just some, all of them. But at the same time, you have to meet his needs. Okay? When you're a wife, that's your job to make sure your husband is happy. To make sure your husband ain't coming home to a fight every day. He needs to feel that peace when he walks in. So be a virtuous woman. Be highly moral. Be good. Be understanding. Okay? Husbands are not always going to be right. We're men. Half the time we ain't right. All right? But you do not have to fight with us and argue with us because you think you're right. Too many arguments over dumb stuff. Too many arguments in a relationship over dumb stuff. All right, I said this during the marriage thing. We don't need to be arguing about anything. You should be talking about it. So if your man does something that you don't like, talk to him about it. Have a conversation about it. Don't yell at him. Don't put him down. Okay? Just talk to him about it. Hey, you did this last night. I didn't really appreciate it. Okay? That's what a wife's supposed to do. A wife is not supposed to just shut up and be silent. I know the Bible says in certain areas that a woman should be quiet while learning. I don't agree with that. Sorry, Lord, but I don't. Women have feelings too. Women should be able to explain their feelings without arguing. All right? So don't make a house where a man's got to come home and defend himself when he's at home. All right? Women, you do not know how much power you have over a man. You don't. You don't realize it. Because if you women realized it, things would change quickly. All right? You can break a man with words instantly. That man will shut up. That man will never talk to you again. You take, what's the word? How do you say it? Intimacy? Is that right?
Intimacy.
What is it?
Intimacy.
Empathy. Yeah, what she said. You take that from a man, he'll close up. Now, I'm not only talking about sex. I'm talking about showing him love, showing him understanding, and showing him that you care for him. If you take all of them away from a man, he'll close. He'll close. And he'll sit around and think about what he did wrong. But he won't try to fix it. He won't. He'll just shut down. If a man's got to ask for that kind of stuff, that's wrong. That should be something you're showing him daily. That should be something that he should never question. If I'm married to a lady, I should not wonder in my head if she loves me. I should not wonder if she cares about me. That should be shown. Okay? Vice versa. Okay, this goes both ways, but this week is about women. All right? So that should automatically be shown. No man should ever wonder. And like I said, if you do that to him, he'll shut down. Now, I'm only telling you this because there's probably women out here that's watching this that needs to know this. Okay? And single ones should know this too. All right? A man is very easy to shut down. And something like that will shut him down. And let's be honest, after a while, that shutdown is going to turn into anger. Okay? And when that turns into anger, that relationship's going to go back quick. Because we can only think so much. God didn't give us a big enough brain. We can only think so much, and then we just turn off, we shut down, we no longer care. Now, when you no longer care about somebody or something, it goes to anger. All right? So you got to be real careful. You got to show the man that you love him in many different ways. You got to let him know that. And the man should let the woman know that too, obviously. Okay? But that's real important. In Proverbs 21, verse 19, Proverbs 21:19. Now, this is what I was telling when I was just talking about a couple seconds ago there. It says this: it is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. Okay, I was just explaining that to you. It's better for a man to go out there and walk the streets and be all by himself than to come home to a woman that wants to do nothing but argue. Or just wants what they want. It's better for us to go walk in the jungle to get a chance to get eaten by a lion than what it is to go home to that. Okay? As I said, you ladies have no idea on how much power you have over a man. So it's better for us not to come home to you if all you're going to do is argue with us. Or if it's just going to be one-sided. And let's be honest, nowadays, relationships are all one-sided. It's what can you do for me? That's not a marriage. A marriage should be what can we do for each other. Okay? But if you're one of them type of women that all they want to do is argue, how do you expect to keep a marriage? How do you expect to keep a man? As I said earlier, we don't want to come home to this. As you girls don't want to come home to that either. Okay? It's a two-way street here. But it's better for you just to wander around than to go home to it. It's better for you to just go live in a mountain and be all by yourself than to come home to that. Okay? Marriage is not one-sided. It is not one-sided. You have to be submissive, yes, according to the Bible. But again, there's a level to submission. There's a spot to where, okay? Again, this comes out of the Bible. It don't come out of Dwayne. All right? Don't be like that. I'm not going to come home to argue every night. And Jenny, you work in a factory. You know this as well as I do. It's bad. It's bad, especially if you're a Christian person. It's real bad. So our defenses are up the whole entire time we're at work. We're all time at work defending ourselves. Putting up with stuff we shouldn't be putting up with. We don't want to do that when we come home. When I come home, like I said earlier, it should be peaceful. I should feel like I'm wanted there. And if you work in a factory, you're not wanted there. You're just there to make that people parts so they can get rich. Okay? We don't want to feel that when we come home.
They don't care about us there, so
yeah, they don't care about you.
That either.
They don't care about you one bit. Okay? That was 21:19. And Proverbs 14:11. 14:11. In Proverbs 14:11, it says this. I don't think I got that right. Yep, nope, I didn't get that right. Anyway, I marked down the wrong verse.
I was going to say, you don't want to read that one right now.
Yeah, I marked down the wrong verse. Treat your man the way you want to be treated. Okay? Treat your man the way you want to be treated. What goes around, ladies, does come back. Okay? So if you're being argumentative with your man all the time, you're going to get arguments back. Okay? And eventually, we're going to shut down, and we're not going to care. And eventually, we probably won't come home. We're going to be gone. You'll never see us again. You're going to get divorce papers in the mail. Okay? Don't do that. Treat that man the way you want to be treated. Love that man the way you want to be loved. Okay? And ladies, you normally don't have problems talking about stuff. Okay? You normally don't have troubles talking about that. But there's some stuff that you will not talk to your man about because you're afraid to embarrass him or afraid to upset him or make him feel bad. But there's some things that do need to be talked about. And the key word here is talk. Communicate. If he's not doing, Lord, how do I put this? How do I put this? But intimacy, is that what you got? Intimacy. If that's not working out, tell him. If he's not fulfilling you, tell him. Because remember, if you don't say nothing, then nothing changes. Okay? And the guy should be able to do the same thing. Anything that's going on in your relationship should be able to be talked about. Not argued about, but talked about. Okay? Your job is a helpmate. Your job there is to help that man through whatever he's going through. And believe me, we go through a lot. Okay? We're not taught. We're not taught to talk about our feelings. The only feelings that we will show is anger. We'll show you we love you, but when you change that, then we're going to show you anger. Okay? We don't know how to do what you women do. We don't have the emotions that you women have. Okay? Somebody makes us mad. We don't cry about it. We go punch them. We go deal with it. All right? Women's not like that.
I must have been hardwired differently.
Yeah, you was wired differently. But most women ain't. Okay? They'll just sit around and mope about it instead of going talking to their husbands about it. Okay? Men are clueless. Y'all know that. Men are clueless. If y'all ain't telling us something, we don't know. We ain't smart enough to figure that out. And to be honest with you, we probably won't. That's why you have to talk to us. That's part of you guys making a house a home. Okay? Now, like I said, the Bible don't have a whole lot. The Bible just wants to talk about being submissive. All right? And most churches and most men are going to take that as me, Tarzan, and you, Jane. And that's not what it means. Okay? Change your perspective on what you think a man is. Okay? A man's not a man just because he's tall, dark, and handsome. A man's not a man just because he's got money.
He can be a royal.
That's not what makes a man a man.
He can be a nightmare.
A man is somebody that will take care of you, that will love you, that will cherish you, that will honor you. Okay? That's what a real man is. There's a lot of good men out there that women don't look at because they're considered a nice guy. Now, a lot of women say they want a nice guy, but when one pops into their life, she automatically puts him in the friend zone. Okay? Don't tell God you want a nice guy, then when he sends you one, you put him in the friend zone. You wanted him, there he is. Ladies, if you're asking God for a certain man, a certain type of man, and he sends it to you, and you don't take him, that's your fault. What's wrong with a nice guy? Be honest. What's wrong with a nice guy? See, women nowadays, they want a man that's rough, tough, drug user, alcoholic, something like that. They're not looking for a real man. They're looking for what they think a real man is. Okay?
They're wrong in all categories.
They're wrong in all categories. So I'm going to tell you something, ladies. If you go out and find a man that's an alcoholic, guess what's going to happen? He's going to drink all your money away, and he's going to beat you.
And you're going to whine and cry about it.
And he's going to cheat on you. And then you're going to go, oh, poor me. Well, you picked him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You got to be careful. Lust is not love. If you're looking for a man for what he can do with you at nighttime, you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to get what you want. If that's all you're looking for, that's sad. Okay? And unfortunately, there's too many men out there that think the same way. Okay? Be virtuous. You know what you want. Don't compromise on it. You know what kind of man you're looking for. Don't compromise on it. Don't say, well, he's got all but this. Well, if he don't have this, then he's not what you're looking for. Don't just jump at the first person that says, hey, you're beautiful. Because that person only wants one thing. And when they get it, they're gone. If they don't have a heart, you don't want them. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care how handsome they are. I don't care how good they're built. Okay? You don't want them. But when you do finally get that one that God sent you, and let's understand something. God has got a mate for everyone.
I was
Nope.
just getting ready to say that.
Yep.
That they're a true Christian, they should be standing back waiting for God to put that person that He has chosen for them in their life.
Exactly. Exactly.
'Cause anything
If
you
you're a
try to do
Christian
yourself
woman and
does
you're
not
praying for her, and you're praying for the husband, wait. Men, same way. If you're a Christian man and you've been praying for a wife, wait. Don't just jump on the first thing that pops up to you.
Exactly.
Wait. You will know if it's that person. Okay? Be picky. If you got certain values, don't change them values just because they got money or because they're tall, dark, and handsome or whatever. Don't change them values. Keep them. And wait, because God will send them to you. The problem is with humans, not all humans, but most of them, is we cannot be alone. If we're alone for a certain period of time, we start freaking out.
I think it's peaceful.
Okay?
I do too.
Now, I've been out in the dating world for 14 years now, so I ain't got no idea what's going on nowadays.
It's peaceful, isn't it?
It is peaceful. But yes, there is times I get lonely. Okay? But wait. Don't just jump on the first person that comes by. You know, and it's sad to say, but a lot of people go to church to find a mate. They go to church to find a boyfriend or girlfriend.
It's better than going to the bar to find one.
It is, but what happens? You never see them again. Once they come in and find that person, they're gone. You never see them again. When you are going to church, you're there to hear about God.
It's His time.
You're there to hear His word. You're there to hear about Him. You're not there to find your mate. Okay? Your mate will come to you sometime or another, but that's not what you should be going to church for. Yes, it is better than going to a bar and finding one, but it's not better if they're going to take you out of church. And 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. Okay? Because guys want these women, religious women, because they want to flip them.
We're not a house.
And it happens. Yeah, you're not a house. You're not a house, but it happens. It happens all too often. So be picky. You're allowed to be picky. And ask God to send you the one that you're supposed to have. And then wait. Just wait. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you finally get that person that you're supposed to have, when that man finally gets the wife he's supposed to have, he's going to have the best thing in the world. Like the scripture says, it's going to be better than gold, better than money. Because to a guy, being treated like a king is the best thing in the world. A guy that knows that he's got a woman that loves him, cares for him, nurtures him, that's everything. That's better than a brand new car or a brand new motorcycle. Okay? And that's the way you as women should be. But only be with it with the right person. I've been in relationships to where I tried my best to make it work, and it didn't.
Because it wasn't meant to be.
Because it wasn't meant to be, or because that person just wasn't ready. Okay? Think about this. If you're 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 20 years with a person that really don't love you, you just wasted a lot of time. And you might have missed that person you were supposed to be with.
A lot of time and a lot of energy.
Just because you couldn't wait. So don't be in a hurry. But ladies, be what God made you to be. He did not make you to be warriors. He did not make you to be homebreakers. He did not make you to be, how many notches can I get on my belt? That's not the way he made you. He made you for one specific man for the reasons of being that helpmate. To show that man something he's never had before. Okay? That's your job. That's what God made you for. Make a house a home. Let that man know when he comes home, he don't have to fight and argue. He don't have to keep his guard up. He don't have to defend himself. He can come home to peace. If you got kids, ladies, don't start an argument in front of the kids.
No.
Don't do that. I see way too many women do that. They start an argument in front of the kids. Stop that.
And it's the guys too.
Well, the guys do it
The
too,
guys-
but
the kids don't need to see it.
no, kids don't need to be around that.
No.
Because remember, whatever you're doing in the house, that's what your kids are learning.
And they think it's okay, and it's not.
And that's what they're going to do. Period. That's what they're going to do. So, be what God made you. Okay? I didn't get no rocks thrown at me. Nobody come up and punched me yet, so I must have did okay. All right. But we got to learn. God is love, and we should be love. God is merciful. We should be merciful. Okay? We should image ourselves off of God. And we got to understand that there's some things that men do that women don't do. And there's some things that women do that men don't do. Okay? That's why God made us different. That's why God made women and men. All right? So I hope you learned something, and God bless you.